Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Boom, better have my money. And that's unfortunately what it's come to with Derrick James and Errol Spence. There's been all kind of rumors about Derrick James, Errol Spence, if they're going to keep working together, if they're not going to work together. Does Errol Spence really owe Derrick James money for him as a trainer, and just how much does he deserve? You know, all kind of stuff. Well, let me tell you something. It's very unfortunate, but Derrick James and Errol Spence, it's like this is going to get settled in a court, and I don't understand when it comes to money, right? Why people who you're talking about $350,000, $5 million? I mean, you got rich people problems. Y'all got all this money, man, and you still can't be happy. I wouldn't be surprised if you got Errol Spence and Derrick James, right? And there's someone in the middle stirring the pot and making Errol Spence believe you don't have to pay him all of that money. You just give him X amount of dollars, we should be good. I'm telling you, is when people on the outside get involved, that's when the problems start. Because you can't make me believe Errol Spence Jr., whose father went to Derrick James when Errol Spence was an amateur and said, "Can you help him?" He said, "Yeah, I think I can help him." And then he got involved, and look at what he did with Errol Spence Jr. You can't make me believe the guy who helped Spence become almost undisputed at 147, that the two of them would have an issue over how much money James has made, because the truth is this. I guess we will never know, but I feel confident in saying without Derrick James, Errol Spence wouldn't be where he's at. Simple. Errol Spence could have all the athleticism, he could have all the power, he could have all the speed, but the IQ, the training plan development, the game plan, etc., that ain't Errol Spence. That's Derrick James. I'm not talking about Errol Spence today. I'm talking about him coming up, amateur to a pro. Derrick James has everything to do with that. All right? So this whole thing about Derrick James out here and the lawsuit and, B-word better have my money. He didn't say that. I just remember a song I used to listen to by, I think it was AMG. Itch better have my money. And that's kind of the point that they've reached. But anyway, there's several articles out there, but this one I thought was straightforward. Derrick James suing Errol Spence Jr. for more than $5 million in unpaid trainer fees. Now, the article goes on to say that the lawsuit basically claiming a breach of their payment agreement, and Derrick James, like the rumors that have been floating out there, is seeking compensation for the unpaid training services. Now, this is the part that I'm not really sure, but with Derrick James, he believes that the original agreement entitled him to 10% of Spence's guaranteed fight purses, including the pay-per-view revenue. And this is where I think the disconnect is coming in, is because the 10% of the guarantee seems to be all Errol Spence may have paid him. And that seems to be all that Errol Spence wants to pay him. But the issue is with the pay-per-view revenue. And it says, which typically forms part of a fighter's income at higher levels of the sport. Now what I'll say is, if the contract is straightforward and it has that literature in there that, 10% of the guaranteed fight purse, including pay-per-view revenue, what's the argument? Why are we going to court over this? But if it doesn't say that, well, somebody's going to have a problem, and it'd probably be Derrick James if it says just 10% of the guaranteed fight purse. Well, then that has nothing to do with pay-per-view or any other modes of revenue, right? Because we're not just talking, if that's the case, Maybe we're not just talking about pay-per-view revenue. There may be other modes of revenue as well. But nonetheless, the bottom line is there are a few key points from James's lawsuit, and this is what they are. Claim for unpaid compensation. James asserts Spence failed to fully compensate him according to the agreement, especially if they start fighting on pay-per-view. So obviously, he's looking at the last few fights. Professional relationship and trust. The suit details a trust and bond developed over the years, with James serving not only as Spence's trainer, but also as a mentor and friend, offering extensive support without direct compensation during Spence's early career. You know what I'm going to say right here? Very good point. Derrick James, from my understanding now, I'm not close to the source. I'm close to the computer. So I don't know. But from listening to Spence, listening to James, Derrick James was very supportive with Errol Spence, the car accident, and everything that man went through. It's like a big brother relationship, like it's bigger than boxing. But to see it come down to this, it's crazy to me. I have 3 brothers, but I also have some friends I grew up with. And let me tell you something. My life is good, I'm not just gonna go out there and give them money. But if something happens, I'm there. But if I hit the jackpot, I have 3 friends and 1 cousin, right? 3 friends and 1 cousin. This is outside of my 3 brothers. But 3 friends and 1 cousin. If I hit the jackpot, all of them getting some dough. Let's say I hit the jackpot for $25 million, each one of them is getting $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of relationship we had. But to just think that all of this money that Errol Spence made, and him and Derrick James, the way they came up and everything they've been through together, this shit over money is driving me crazy, man. I just don't get it. But specific dispute over payment. The disagreement peaked following the Terrence Crawford fight, which was a major event with significant earnings. James claimed he was underpaid for this and possibly other fights. He seeks over $5 million in damages and full accounting of Spence's earnings related to their agreement, and punitive damages for the alleged breach and fraudulent practices. This is crazy. Full accounting of Spence's earning related to their agreement. Man, if Spence wasn't doing his taxes right, he's up shit creek, man. Right here it says, Derrick James, long-standing payment agreement that included shorter paper. The legal battle was filed. Okay, so it's just letting you know that it's real. Let me see what else he got here. Okay, despite the massive purse, James did earn $350,000, leading him to suspect that Spence had not been transparent or fair in compensating him. Court. I mean, if Spence made, goddamn, if Spence made like the 45 million, you can't just give Derrick James $350,000, even if that's part of the agreement. Give that man some dough. That's crazy to me, man. James is demanding over $5 million in damages, $2,115,000 from Spence's fight with Crawford, and at least $2,885,000 from his 4 other bouts on pay-per-view. He also seeks a court order accounting of Spence's earnings. Man, that is just crazy. But it is what it is, man. Itch better have my money, and that's just what it sounds like. But I personally feel, let me put my fan on, I hope it's not too loud. I personally feel that this is something that could have been avoided. Like the whole situation could be averted. Even if there's nothing there, explicit, black and white, nothing contracted. I understand the law. Hey, I don't have to pay you. But there's just some things you do based on your values, based on honor, based on your morals. This man got you to the biggest fight of your career, even though you lost. Pay that man. That's just how I see it. But I know others are going to see it a little bit differently, but I get it. That being said, y'all keep cool. That's the latest on these guys. Unfortunate, and I can't see them working together ever again. It's just the bond's been broken. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.